I use my state of the
I'm listening to the headphones, I'm making sure the levels are right, that my intonation is perfect. 3UZ land. I imagine I'm up there on the transmitter broadcasting to 3UZ land. I imagine my dog, believe it or not, my dog, my favourite dog is sitting there, and he likes to, when he hears my voice, he pays attention to the radio. But I tend to go along with the guy who thinks it's just me and the listener. They're not shouting to the world, they're not trying to be smart, they're not trying to have big voices, it's just you and me.
That was fantastic Jim James originally from My Morning Jacket, but that's his debut album called Regions of Light and Sound of God. Sounds pretty amazing at this time of night. You're with Ingrid now until 6 a.m. this morning.
You can get phone calls from taxi drivers and people working at service stations and people in all sorts of states of mind, I guess. I'm only on once a month, and it's not I say who I am, but I'm not a guy with a show, but they know who I am, and so they say, oh, yeah, it's good to hear you again, or whatever. It messes with you a bit, I think, like for a day or something, because you've been up all night, basically. The basic thing is you've just been up all night.
John Edmund Shea cut his hair to make the fear go away. Seemed to want the boys to be by his side, but he never could persuade them to stay.
It was the middle of winter, and a couple of friends of mine had managed to talk themselves into doing one graveyard shift. That's all I ever thought they'd get, but it was, it was a big thrill. Going to be on the radio for 4 hours, even if it was only once. I asked if I could come along. I just remember us being left out in the cold by this guy who was on before us, who was a strange one. We came in, we were wet, we were cold, but then we had the warmth of the studio, and we did it. And I remember us at the end of it, we were literally sweating, and we looked at each other and we said, all at once, we said, we've got to do this again. So that's one of those moments in life where an ordinary Joe Blow like me, who's very nervous about speaking in front of people, was able to get into a field you secretly wanted to all your life, but you never thought you would. And a life-changing moment, I would say.
You just were listening to Felicity Groom. She's brilliant, isn't she? Western Australian woman who put out an album called Gossamer back in 2011. That one was called John Edmund Shea.
The station is full of superfans of music who are incredibly knowledgeable. So as anyone who loves music would attest, just being able to sit and talk about music and learn from other people is incredible. So that's been a really sort of rich education for me, particularly when I was a lot younger, but I still tune in and hear amazing things.
This is a chance to put things together, and you might put things together as making a playlist or something for you personally and listen to that and go, wow, this is great, But you're able to actually do that and put it to air and put it out to other people that you don't know. And community radio or Triple R allows you that, I guess, whether you're playing something that's a new release or something that you can contextualise, I suppose, as being interesting at the moment, even though it's from the past. It's a great sort of luxury in a way, and playing to who knows how many people,
Probably the graveyard roster is as intimate as broadcasting gets. You're genuinely on your own in the studio at night. You get a lot less phone calls than what you might get at other times of the day, so you can genuinely be thinking, maybe I am actually only speaking to one person. I always assure graveyarders, however, that at any time there are thousands of people listening to Triple R.
I think that's what it is. It's just that emotional choice that you make of, this is okay. I think I'll hang out here for a little while. And it feels comfortable, and it feels safe, and it feels entertaining, and it's maybe a little bit challenging. That's the important thing about graveyard, is it isn't just, a training ground. It actually is the source of what we do.
Some people do it because they want to prove something to themselves. one guy recently was like, I have a fear of public speaking. And I thought that this might be a really good opportunity for me to try and get over that. And he was amazing. He was just so worried, and then he delivered this sort of almost like a sermon. I was like, yeah, testify. Even if he never does anything in radio again, there was a real switch for him. Graveyarders are, you know, they're going to be the next breakfasters. They're going to be the next, you know, all these people talk about all the long-term presenters. Well, that's going to be them.
We're going to move on to a little bit more experimental music in this set, particularly highlighting this woman called Jenny Haval. She's from Norway, and I first heard her because Anthony Carew did a interview with her on International Pop Underground, and I got really fascinated because she sounded amazing. And listening to her music, some of the lyrics are a bit out there, but yeah, I really like how experimental she is. She is a sound artist as well as an artist, as well as a writer. So one of these amazingly creative people. And this is from her latest release called Innocence is Kinky. And this is from 2013, a song called Mephisto in Water. So have a listen to Jenny.
The springtime is here, and